Okay, welcome back. I'm sure many of you are wondering where I've been the past few days. You're looking for some sort of explanation as to why I have not uploaded. And so jumping right into this game, we're going to be versus JXP. He's Vanguard player, he and I are friends. We talk on Discord pretty often, we play each other pretty often as well. My MMR is a bit higher than his, so I only get to play him every now and then. But when I do, I always have a nice time. In this game, I'm going to be going for quick hedgehogs and trying to fight it with the dogs and get some camps and stuff like that. In the current meta, you're probably going to be forced to go dogs, but this is an old build actually from Frigate that Percival and I workshopped together. It involves cutting workers at 12 and building an immediate factory. You can see I just barely got my barracks up, and I'm already putting down my mech bay, and I'm going to be going for an immediate hedgehog as well. I do salvage the barracks, that's so I can get the 150 luminite to get the hedgehog just immediately. I am going to be building that back because I need it for tier 2, but until then, you just salvage it and you get the money and you put it into a hedgehog. He's going to be doing the exact same build on the other side. His is just a bit later though, I believe. I think he might have made a mistake in that you can see I'm making a little joke about how we're both doing the same build, and I'm typing and losing my dog. Never type in games if you don't need to, but you know, since it's a pretty friendly game this time around, even though it is ranked, it's always nice to have a good time, and so it's not a big deal. I'm not super concerned about it. I saw that his mech bay was not pushing up and down. You can see how my mech bay moves. The middle part moves up and then it slams down like that. I saw his was not doing that. That means it's not producing, which means he made one too many workers and he got supply blocked on the build. Right now I'm actually just sitting around waiting, and so I'm just zooming in and out. I've got nothing to do. I'm just waiting for additional units, and I know he's doing the same build, but I'm ahead in hedgehogs, and so I'm going to go out on the map once I've got 2 with my 3rd one on the way. I'm going to start trying to do some creep camps. Pretty soon, as I start to accumulate Therium, you're going to see me go out and build another barracks, and I'm going to be going up to tier 2 as well, while I get those additional resources from the camps and the additional hedgehogs. So you can see there, I'm just sitting AFK, not much to do, don't even need to micro really, because I'm going to get the health plant here. Here comes my 3rd hedgehog, and back at home I'm going to be starting my barracks. I'm going to look to start my tier 2, forget it that I salvaged my barracks, start my barracks, and then just wait. And I'm just going to repair my hedgehog. I saw that the fruit had been taken by his dog, and so that's not a big deal. I'm just going to repair it and sit at home and wait for my tier 2. I suspect, I saw he salvaged his barracks, so I suspect his tier 2 is right around the same spot mine is. Except I've gotten a camp, and I see he has no camps, which means I'm pretty ahead. But then I went and looked at the map to check if he had taken a camp, and sure enough, he had taken it, just not captured it. And that's a little trick that you can do to try and kind of fool your opponent to make you think maybe you're behind, even though you're not, is you don't fully capture the camp, but you still get the resources from it. I'm going to go capture it because why not? It's always good to have better vision on the map, and I'm going to head back and take my speed camp. If you're going into a hedgehog war, in the super rare event it does happen, speed camps are very important. I talked about in the past, if you have more hedgehogs, you just simply win because they can't escape if you've got a speed camp. You can also micro pretty nicely and all that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to be doing some basic kiting here to get the speed camp, and once I've got it, I'm going to be getting another hedgehog, going to be supply blocked, nothing to see there, and he's actually going to pull up and try and kill my my hedgehogs here. He's going to try and take a fight. Always focus one at a time, and if you start to lose the fight, this is the power of the speed camp, you just get away, and I'm out. If he had his own speed camp, I'd probably be in a bit of trouble, but because he doesn't, I'm able to get out and go up the ramp where he can't engage, and now I've got my tier 2 back, and so I'm going to go back on the offensive with some upgraded hedgehogs. I'm going to check if he's trying to steal my health camp, but he's not, he just disengaged, and so I'm going to head back to the speed camp and refresh that buff. Very important to get that, and you have 2 options from here. You can either expand or go for a second mech bay. I prefer the second mech bay. I go for a lot of hedgehogs in a much later expansion. It's kind of a luxury we have as Vanguard, is the ability to expand a bit later. And I'm going to salvage that barracks, as you see, and I'm going to be looking to make a Vulcan. I've mentioned in the past, Vulcans are pretty strong versus hedgehogs, because hedgehogs are light, and so if you do get that Vulcan, you can kind of do a strong push with it. And you can see I'm going to upgrade both my habitats. Remember, solar habitats give 15% more production speed, and you always want them next to mech bays, hangar bays, and research, which includes pretty much your biokinetics lab or your machine shop, or you can also put them next to your command posts to increase bob production. And as I continue here, I'm just going to be rallying out more and more hedgehogs best I can. And I do believe that's a Vulcan on the way. I'm not 100% sure, but I think in that mech bay there, based on the speed that I saw, it looks like it was a Vulcan. And I'm going to be trying to do that heavy push that I talked about. With my speed cap, I'm going to go take a look at what he's got. And I notice he's expanded, which means he is significantly behind. Remember, I talked about you have two options in the hedgehog count. You can either go second mech bay or you can expand. He opted to expand, and so you can see his hedgehog count is not going to stay up as high as mine, and so I'm just going to try and take a fight. Remember, I still have that speed cap, so there's no running. He can't get out, and I'm going to be able to kite the bobs pretty easily, and he's going to have to leave as a result. Okay, and welcome to Game 2. In Game 2, we're going to be versus Infernal. We're against Elf yet again, and we're going to be on Titan's Causeway. So I'm still 2 patches behind in what I'm showing gameplay wise, so I'm going to be going for expansion first. I'm now 2 beta patches, or 2 balance patches rather, late on my videos, which means I'm providing incredibly out of date meta play, but nonetheless I do believe CC first is coming back in style. I'm going to send my dog on the bottom path to towards Elf space, but then I'm going to turn it around and send it to the top path. The reason I did that was to try and intercept the Hexen in case it was sent out. In this case, he went right for an expansion, and he actually kind of mind gamed me and went on the bottom path, which is the path fastest for me, not for him. But I am going to catch an imp here, and if your dog ever catches an imp out on the front like this, it's almost a guaranteed kill, unless the Hexen is attacking right away. So the key is you always want to get on top of the dog right away, or the imp right away, sorry, so that it can't make a building. The skull was still bugged and doing 50 damage at this point. This was just a little bit before the patch, and so I had to back out once his Hexen arrived and cast that skull. But if it wasn't bugged and it was doing the proper 25 damage, I would have been able to take the kill on that for sure. I'm going to go grab the health plant here, and I'm going to start poking the Hexen. Behind this, you can see he sent that skull across the map. And I'm going to be getting my barracks once I have additional minerals while I'm making everything. And he's going to try and hit the creep camp, but it's not going to work out for him. They're just going to chase him instead of me. And behind this, I'm just making workers. I'm going to transfer that 5 to Therion that I always talk about. From here, just making more and more workers. And I'm going to be adding my second and third barracks in the future, and I'm also going to be tacking up soon. So I'm going to be in the wall making my biokinetics lab. First you tech up, and then later you add those additional barracks. The reason I'm able to do this with such confidence is because I looked at his base, I got a scout off, and I saw he's opening Conclave first. Conclave first means very few units, and means I'm pretty safe for quite a while, so I'm free to tech up, free to focus on economy. He also has an expansion himself, which means I'm more than welcome to continue my economy. I come back in and see a vault has been added in there, and I see a second conclave, or no, sorry, that is a tech building coming up. He actually sniped one of my workers. I didn't even realize what was happening. I play with music on, and so I barely hear the pings most of the time. And so I didn't even hear the alert that he got a worker. But I'm going to fix that right now by adding my second barracks in on the ramp, and that's going to create a 1x1 hole that only one unit can go through, so I'm going to be able to put a Lancer there to block run-bys and stuff like that in the future. And I'm also going to be checking out, like, where's the army? What's going on? Why, you know, what camps he's getting and all that sort of stuff. I'm going to see he takes the health camp on the map. I'm just going to double check the speed camp, because typically, actually almost always, here's a tip, if an Infernal goes for a speed camp first, that means they're attacking you. They're not getting the speed camp for fun. So if they go speed camp first, you're always going to need to be on defense, and you're going to need to group up at home. In this case, he went for the health camp first, and I get a scout off on his army. I'm seeing lots of Gaunts, I'm seeing quite a few Brutes, and quite a few Fiends as he's doing his creeping. So I'm just going to kind of keep an eye on the army movements here while macroing back at home. You can see I've got that unit in the gap there, that Lancer. That prevents any Fiend run-bys in the future. And again, I'm just going to be kind of tracking where the army is going and what's happening here. I'm going to notice he's kind of going down in a weird location. And I notice he's going right through some trees. And apparently, he took out those trees with an imp so that he could get a faster attack path straight to my base. I'm going to sense what's going on. You know, this is an attack. It's clearly coming in. He's moving right towards my base. And so I'm going to start a sentry post. It is going to get killed, but I'm just going to pull more workers, and I'm going to start building it. I mentioned in the past video when Elf did this exact thing, you don't need to panic. You have Overcharge, which is as a Vanguard, which is a very strong ability, and you just build a turret, and the threat is over. He can't kill me now. I've got a great wall. That turret reaches to my wall, so he can't start attacking that. The turret also reaches up to the barracks. Maybe he could get that habitat if he really wanted to, but my Exos could fire back. And overall, I'm completely safe here. There's nothing he can do. Infernals cannot fight in a buzzsaw turret. It's too strong, and does too much damage to light units. So instead, he's just going to take the health camp, get some more Fiends, take the vision camp, get a bit of money with that. That's not a big deal to me. This was a bit of a mistake by me. Even though I have Quick Draw Hustle, these Fiends, there's quite a few of them, and they are going to get a pick on one of the Exos, but I'm going to trade it out not bad. I also lose my Lancer, which is my only front line. But again, I've got that health camp there, so I thought I'd move out and be a bit more confident with it. And behind this, I'm going to add on my third barracks, which is late. That is the late third barracks. I meant to add that earlier, but with how crazy things got, look at that Bob. Look at that Bob on the command post. He was just walking into the command post and then walked away. Oh my goodness, they just run around doing nothing. Treason. My third barracks was late because of the fact that the game got hectic. I had to pull my workers, wasn't really focused on it, so it's not a big deal, but my Exo production is just a little bit behind as a result. I'm going to send my dog out again to scout. You're always looking to see where is his army on the map. And once I get my tier 2, I'm going to promote my Exos. Always want to promote your Exos. And I'm going to take a look at what's going on there. It's just a scouting fiend. And this is also just a scouting fiend. I'm going to go try and find the army and figure out kind of what's going on and where it is and how big it is and what it looks like. I'm floating quite a few resources here, so I'm going to get ready to expand as a result because I'm getting up to 400. I got a lot of workers. My economy's looking really good. And so I'm going to be using my scout to figure out, you know, where is his army. And I notice it's way down in the bottom side of the map. And so I'm going to take positional advantage here, and I'm going to snipe that third base. I'm actually going to use the shield on the dog to stall his army. He's attack moved onto the army, and I'm just going to focus and try and buy time by shielding the dog. From there, I'm going to snipe the shrine, and I'm going to run for my life, because he's got way too many attacking units to actually to engage in. And if you notice, I only have Exos left. You never want to be out on the map with just Exos. They're too weak, and Gaunts do too much damage. Gaunts have since been changed in the balance patch, and I'm going to see he's coming right away, and I'm going to try and start my kiting, but the mistake has already been made. I'm not at the buzzsaw turret, and so I'm already in deep trouble here. I'm going to accidentally shoot the animal. I think I did that twice, which is really unfortunate. And you can see with the speed cap, the Gaunts just run down Exos. This is back when they had 40% speed instead of 30, so it's not as bad anymore. But when Exos are all alone, they are in fact very squishy and very weak. And I'm going to try and keep fighting, always focusing the Gaunts. Gaunts are the ones infesting, and they're also the ones doing the damage. But it's not going to make much of a difference. He's going to have even more units coming up. And with that quick rally point that he opened up, he's going to be able to overwhelm me quite a bit here. I'm going to pull my workers and keep trying to fight it, because I'm thinking maybe I can hold on. But as my workers die, he's got that infest ability pretty early on, and so they're all going to turn into fiends, and he's going to get a free army. And I'm just going to end up losing all my workers, and my X's are going to die here. Even though I have, barely any, I'm still trying to hold on. Maybe I can outproduce this, because, fiends are pretty weak, and he's only got a few gaunts, but it's just barely not enough for me. And so I'm going to have to GG here in a second. And there we go. So I'm going to take a loss that game. The mistake being, I did not make a Vulcan when he was going for a lot of gaunts. And I also went out on the map too early with my Exos without any protection. I had no Lancers and no Medics, and Exos can't be out on the map alone. So, thank you very much for watching.